thanks so much for joining us live, or if you're watching this back on the recording. My name's Alison Teader, and I'm the Programme Director of NAPA Arts in Care Homes. The aim of this programme is to highlight the importance of the arts in care provision, and one of our main elements is our annual event, the National Day of Arts in Care Homes, which takes place every September. We're delighted today to be launching a new resource, the NAPA Manager's Guide to Arts in Care Homes. And you can find that. It's available on our website, and we'll point you to that later on as well. But I'd like to, you can download it there, PDF, and there's also a shortened summary version of that as well. That you can find on the website there, but I'll remind you of that at the end. So I would like to invite the first of our guests to come and talk to me today, David Cutler from the Bearing Foundation. And I'd first like to say thank you so much, David, for supporting the Arts in Care Homes programme and for funding this particular resource. Over to you, David.
Thank you, Alison, and thanks for allow me to say a few words. The only words I really want to say are thank you and well done. Many congratulations to NAPA for this fantastic new resource. Just over a year ago, we published a report trying to have a look at what we called a systems approach. What are all the things that you need in order for there to be good creative activities for everyone in care homes across the country? We looked at all sorts of different things, but one of the things that we thought was that there was a lack of guidance for managers, and this report fills that gap absolutely brilliantly. And we particularly wanted to emphasize the importance about how that relates to CQC assessments, which are obviously so important to care homes. We've been very proud partners of NAPA now for a number of years, including for the Arts in Care Homes Day, which has really shone a spotlight on the fantastic work that's happening. And the last thing, which I think relates both to this guide and to the Arts in Care Homes Day, I have an incredibly interesting, nice, really rather easy job about supporting charities. And in the well over 10 years that I've been looking at arts in care homes, it's never failed to strike me how incredibly hard the jobs are of care workers and of care managers. We really understand and appreciate the fantastically important work that you're doing. But I think the arts can bring joy not only to your residents, but also to everyone in the whole community of a care home. So many congratulations to NAPA and good luck with it.
Thank you so much, David. Thanks very much. And now I'd like to invite to join me the three wonderful managers who helped NAPA to develop this report, along with many other people. So I'm delighted to introduce Marlene Kelly, Fatma Makalo, and Shona Bradbury. First things, thank you, the three of you. Your learning, your suggestions, visiting your homes, hearing about the work you've done, that has all fed into this guide, and we wanted to make it really user-friendly. So that's the first thing. Also, thanks to David for acknowledging what a challenging role you're doing, your care staff are doing, especially during a very difficult period over the last few years. But on behalf of NAPA, I really want to thank you for the inspiration that you give us. You spur us on to share and share examples. We see from the work you're doing the benefits of the arts and creativity for your whole community. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you some questions. And as it said in the chat earlier on, if anyone watching has any questions, please do put them in the chat and we'll try and respond to them at the end. I want to ask you all, what's your key ingredient for developing art activities in your care home? If you're thinking about a care home that's at the beginning of their journey, what would be a key ingredient that has really helped you develop the arts? So I'm going to start with Marlene first,
I
please.
think for me, I think that it's really important as managers to provide people with opportunity. I think we need to be like really open to the idea and let our teams know that we're open to the ideas of, you know, anything creative happening, and just being really positive about it, maybe leading by example, being open to people's ideas, even like some of the families and the people that we support have got great ideas in regarding activities and what can be going on in regards to creative, you know, really creative activities of all sorts. So I think it's just about us trying to be as open as we can and like encouraging everyone and being inclusive. Let everybody join in, let everyone be part of it. As David said, it's not just about the people we support, but there's great benefits for the teams as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask the same question to Fatma. What can you tell us about a key ingredient for developing art in a care home?
I think for me is what Marlene had said, is to add up about empowering and enable people to be part of that home. And that meaning not only the resident and the staff members, it's including the wider community. And you should be open for good idea and use the philosophy of fish. I mean, choose your attitude, be playful, be present, and make someone's day every day. So it's about allowing staff and residents to be able to create an environment that is joyful and happy and support people through the journey.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And to you, Shona, what would be your ingredient for developing arts activities in care homes?
Do you know, you need to have leadership. I sometimes think maybe the word arts can frighten people. It's just being creative. And under that, there is so much you can do. All of the challenges that can be thrown, you can actually eliminate very quickly. I think you have to continue to be inspired. You have to drive it and never, ever give up. If you keep it on your weekly planner, if you do something and it doesn't work and it doesn't go right, it doesn't matter. Keep trying, be inspired either by what you see, visiting a home. There's so much out there, but I would say never give up. There's so much out there. Keep being inspired, and it might start slowly. We've been on the journey for 10 years, so we are just art. It's just become us. It is art. But I do remember the struggles, and it's a long, long time. And had we given up, not bothered, we may not be here. So just keep going. There's so much out there, and never give up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you know, I think one of the things we've found is that being inspired by the work going on, we're so inspired by what's going on in your three homes, and it makes us really believe this is possible. It's possible to really embed the arts and to develop a meaningful arts offer, and the outcomes for everyone, the wellbeing outcomes are massive. We've seen them in your homes. So I'd like to ask you each to share an example or a little bit about the way you use the arts in your homes that might kind of be of interest to others and inspire others. So maybe we'll start this time with you, Shona. I wonder if you could tell us about your amazing art studio, which is actually featured on the cover of this resource, A Manager's Guide to Arts in Care Homes. There it is, this art studio. Could you tell us a bit about the background to that, Shona?
Well, it was a space, and we're very into utilising spaces for the benefit of residents. And we'd started working with creative minds, we'd having more and more paintings. We needed somewhere. We needed to stop borrowing places, and hopefully that would be available if we wanted it to be. So we just together came up with this idea.
We've lost you, Shona.
Can you hear me? Can you
We
hear
can
me?
still hear. You're still fine, Shona. You can keep going. I think it might be Alison.
Carry on.
I'm
I'm losing you a bit, but hopefully
Yeah.
other people can hear okay.
So we just decided it was a cinema room to convert it into an art studio, and we've never looked back. It's that the idea that you go in, you don't feel you're in a care home. It transports you to this place of creativity, and the residents can nip in, nip out. We've got people that have state residents that want to consistently go in. They've got their own station. I've just walked past it this morning, and we've got a fireplace ready for Christmas. You've got the art workshops, because we've involved relatives in workshops that they absolutely love, being creative together. And it's a space that just keeps on giving. You think what I mean by inspired, you never close a box. There's always something more you can be doing. And the art studio continues to surprise us and just seeing all that creativity, the laughing, the residents in there, it's just an incredible space. Never look back.
It's a wonderful space, but I think that idea of looking at the spaces within your care home, is there a space that isn't being used? Could you develop it in different ways? And I might at that point bring in Marlene, because you've got we loved your idea of having a doodle wall, which gave permission for people to be creative. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like, as a manager, I feel like we might be at the very sort of beginning of this journey. I don't feel like it's, I want to be honest about feeling like sometimes it can be quite tokenistic. Whereas I think when I listen to Fatma and Shona, then I feel like it's truly embedded into the services that they manage. Whereas for me, I feel like I'm not there. I'm definitely not there yet. But that's what I'm working towards. And there's been small ways of like being able to introduce things that are very cheap or free, and that make quite dramatic changes, or at least invite people to feel a little bit more empowered. And one of those things is that we have a wall that in the home that actually, in our case, we did get some wallpaper that has got art frames on, but it doesn't matter. It can just be a plain wall that's painted a particular color, or people can draw on or write messages, maybe poems on. There's drawings on ours, there's photographs, there's lots of pets appearing on ours. So like anything at all. Children join in, families join in. Some people have created something together, which is nice. The staff have got frames where they've drawn things on and signed them. So it's just about, it's something that's easy to achieve. It's an easy start. It's an easy win. It's also showing that, that you're sort of, I don't know, giving permission in some weird way. We don't have to give permission, but sometimes people wait for permission. And this is an opportunity to be creative, quickly creative, or, thoughtful, or however you want to do it. And sometimes it's just making a mark. And I think it's a good way of starting out. I wish I'd done that earlier. So, it's a good way of starting out, and then ideas start to flow and people start to say, oh, have you thought about doing this? Or have you thought about doing that? But again, I feel like I hope like my mission and vision and values, for the home are now a discussion around creativity and how we can involve that more. And that discussion is starting to happen more frequently.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I think it's good to absolutely emphasize there'll be people listening at all different stages along the journey. But what we're saying is give it a go, try it out. You might be surprised what comes out of it. And that doodle wall, the giving people permission, there's something really lovely about that. You're allowed to write something on the wall, a poem, a cartoon, a doodle, a saying, whatever. It's lovely. We've talked about, when we're talking about arts, people tend to think of visual arts, of drawing and painting. We very much mean all the art forms, dance, music, drama, digital arts, everyday creativity. And I'd like to ask Fatma to talk about the wonderful way that music in particular is embedded at Bridgeside Lodge with the Spits, the fantastic organisation, the Spits. Could you tell us a little bit about that, please, Fatma?
Hi, I met up with Spits over 5 years ago, I think around 8. But the initial visit was, like Merlin saying, starting them just coming to visit the care home and then going, playing a music and Spitz is a charitable musician playing music. But then one day we had a conversation with the Spitz director that if they share an office at Bridgeside Lodge and they will provide so many number of music and lessons to our residents, to staff, and be part of us. And I just said, yeah, of course, just like that. And didn't think, and I will never regret that, because they've become an integral part of Bridgeside Lodge. And they're like family, not only for the staff, but for the relatives too. And the music is, even during pandemic, that actually they played a crucial part where they'll come in and play music around the corridor, knowing that somebody is playing and resident recognize them. They do one-to-one music with resident. Actually, through music, we're able to see a lot of talents from staff, from residents. Some write music, some write their life history, some do some drawings. So we've seen some staff member doing Bollywood dancing through music. So music opens up a lot of ideas. We found staff who are very creative in doing little videos using music. So the music inspired people. So it's not just music, it's dramatized. It's there's lots of drama, there's a lot of laugh, there's a lot of art involved, there's a lot of I can't explain, but it's fantastic atmosphere. And one of the things that personally, that when it's really stressful and I'm sitting working in my office and just hearing music playing back through the back and hearing a resident just getting involved and a staff member dancing, and you suddenly forget that you are in a very stressful, busy environment, and actually I'll just stand up and join into that music or dance. So it's an amazing experience, like everybody of us saying, you need to try. Of course, it's very well embedded to me. And like Shauna said, never give up. Always try to find for new ventures. So, and use the old ventures and carry on with the new ventures and bring the people on board. We use Spitz with local school they play the local schools. Now Spitz go to local schools and the local schools comes to us. So that is now not only at Bridgeside Lodge, we are talking the whole of Islington community involvement. This is amazing. We are having a collab Christmas party with the National Bank, music, Spitz playing music. So you can imagine that collab. And it's just based on the openness and communication. So keep going and never give up.
Absolutely. That's funny. That's my father-in-law's favorite saying. So that's my kids' thing of never give up as well. But there's so much there. But I think the thing, bringing an artist in can unlock so much as well. So we're talking about developing the arts with your team, your staff team, but also, you know, the input of a professional artist, a musician. They can bring in that energy and their skills, but that unlocks the skills also of the people living there, but also your staff as well. We're all creative. We all have creative talents. We may not feel that we're arty, but we all have ability to be creativity. And we've seen it, how that unlocks giving the staff permission to share, and also those links with the community. But also I want to stress something you said at the beginning about when Spitz approached you about using the office. Now, this is wonderful to have an arts organisation actually based in a care home, but that happened because of Fatma's openness to the idea, and what came from that was absolutely wonderful. So I think, you know, as Marlene emphasized, you know, that for those people at the beginning of the journeys, just think a little bit outside the box. It's about being creative, thinking about those community contacts. What can you give them? What can they give you? And working in partnership. And I think what we've seen from all three of your homes is that actually once you start with creativity, it kind of takes on a life of its own, doesn't it? Fatma illustrated that so wonderfully, how the links with the bank and the schools and with both Marlene and Shona's homes. I've heard that too. So just give it a go, start small. In our guide, there are lots of ideas to get you started. We talk about some of the barriers, about people's attitudes to arts. And if you want to find our guide, it's on the website, our Arts in Care Homes website. It's up there now. Go and have a look at it. Take the time to print it out, look through it. You can always get in touch with NAPA, with Arts in Care Homes. And we'd love to hear what you're doing, because as we say, it inspires us. Sharing ideas inspires us. So thank you, ladies. I mean, it's wonderful. I know we could talk all day about this, but wonder if we've got any questions, if any questions have come in. Wow. Oh, we've got a wonderful one here from Tour Home, who are a big friend and supporter. We've talked to them on LinkedIn. So the question is, thank you, Marlene, Fatma and Shona. How would you go about recommending places to start for activity providers working with limited space rooms, and how to pitch these ideas forward? So I think the key part of that, is if you're in a home with limited space and rooms, how do we get things going? And if you want to respond to that question, can you put your hand up if you would like to respond to that? Shona.
Well, I would say where we've had that much visual arts now, it has taken over the lounge and the dining room. Why couldn't you use a space in the dining room, because you're bringing creativity there, just to do whatever you need to do, to have boxes neatly put there, but to give permission and for people to see that it's there. They're more likely to touch, to try to do something if they see it's available. So I would say don't, and honestly, we had lots of challenges. Always find a way around it, because you can. And it's not, sometimes it's just the music. So actually you don't need any space. You can be artful in any area. You don't actually need to have a space. And if you're given something, it's not we can't, it's how can we, and find a way together of how you're going to get around that. And I would say use whatever space you've got, because you're just going to get people even more involved and included sooner.
I have to add to that, NAPA absolutely love a trolley, mobile resources, taking things out, you know, or a corner, and how having things on show provokes curiosity. Don't say, would you like to come and do art? Have something there that makes people talk, that makes them creative. Fatma, you wanted to respond, I think, to what Shona said.
Yes, because I wanted to add, add trolleys, or in lounges have little boxes of things that is available, and whatever it is, display it, take photos, display it, and people would be inspired to be involved. So even start off with one-to-one, go into a resident room with a box, with your staff, then display it in the corridor and to everybody, look, this person did that. And then that will involve everybody to be part of it.
I mean, there's no doubt that actually having a dedicated space where you can leave unfinished artwork, you can have materials around, that really helps, because it provides the environment. But there are ways around it. The trolley, have artwork displayed, use your corridors, think about maybe doing a pop-up exhibition if you can't permanently devote a space. And we've talked about that in the guide a little bit, about developing resources and things that spark curiosity. And that's, can be your starting point, really. Marlene, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think the guide is really useful. I think looking through the guide, so some of the things that are being asked are just about how activity providers can go about, you know, encouraging creativity when they've got barriers to face. And I think the guide is quite useful at pointing out things that really don't have any barriers, that are really easy to achieve. And I think by, you know, having a look through that will give people some inspiration and some ideas that they can do very easily.
Brilliant. And yes, the guide was developed with these 3 wonderful managers who I'm so grateful to, but also we had artists, arts organisations, the Spits, Live Music Now, Magic Me, Drawing Life, and also amazing individuals doing work around this have given their advice and comments and shared learning. So take a look at the guide, use that as a starting point and come back. Ask us. We're learning all the time. We want to hear from you. But, you know, if you've got specific questions, NAPA is here. You know, contact NAPA, contact Arts in Care Homes. And good luck on your journey. Embrace being creative, because I think you will be amazed at what comes out of it. We've got 3 more minutes. We have got one more question. We'll quickly do this one. This is from Hilary from NAPA. Thank you to Shona, Marlene and Fatma for supporting this project. What advice would you give new care home managers thinking about integrating creativity into care home life? So just very briefly, you know, just again, I mean, you've said it really, but new care home managers who want to give it a start, just very briefly, you've said it already, but just a kind of one, what would be your main advice? We'll go with Fatma. Yes.
I think it's about, don't be scared, lead by example. Like Shona said, try, have a vision and carry on, and then it will foster to the rest of the team. And yes, you're going to have challenges, but get people on board with you. It will start with 2, 3, 4, and finally everybody will be involved. That meaning your chefs, your housekeepers, your activity coordinator, your maintenance, your families and your resident.
And we've said about that again in the guide. It's about involving everyone, your creative community. That's how we see care homes, and everyone, bringing everyone's talents in, giving them permission. So absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. I hope everyone watching has found that interesting and inspiring. Please go to the Arts in Care Homes website. You'll see the guide is up on the front page. The website address is below. Give us your feedback. We hope you find it helpful. And yes, keep on being creative and just seeing where that takes you. So thank you all very much. We hope you enjoy the guide as well and sharing it with your teams. And we look forward to hearing more about the wonderful work that you're all doing in your care homes. And thanks again very much to David from the Bearing Foundation for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.